Check it. You're tuned in to SayWHA Radio with your hosts, Justin, Taz, and the other guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
SayWHA Radio. I'm going to just start with this one and just say the headline, see what you say. Baseball coach is suspended after he forced his players to spit in his face.
He loses his damn job.
A Greek man was convicted of stealing electricity despite being dead. Yes, convicted him after he died.
So he didn't do it before he died.
Yes.
Okay. What he died to round it over.
It's me.
Say what? Say what one more goddamn time.
All right. You know what time it is? It is Wednesday somewhere. SayWHA Radio is coming at you guys. Got your girl Justice here hanging with everyone in still, Brother Jules, I don't know what day of quarantine we're on now because you stopped doing the captain's log, so I don't know.
That's a great question. Is just we just out here.
We just out here now.
I don't even know what to tell you.
But as you hear, we got Jules, and I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to Dre D as well. And then we'll go around in alphabetical order if we can.
You introduce me yourself, but yeah, it's Dre D.
McCoy is in the building.
And Taz.
There we go.
We need to have sound effects for our names.
You know what? Let me work on that. I will put that out to Mariah to get to working on.
When I heard McCoy, for some reason, I growled like Beast.
Wow.
You know what? I have not done a new intro in a while. You know what? That might be part of it.
Wow.
Now that you said that.
I'm not even gonna lie. As soon as you said sound effects, I was like, I must have something with Beast. We gotta get some quote.
All right. Since it's been a while, basically we're gonna keep it doing it like we always do with the headlines. But first, I want to go ahead and thank everyone for continuing support of the SayWHA Radio Network. The last episode that we did for SayWHA Radio, which was the Rest in Power, which we did across the network. All of the podcasters came together to do that, which was great. It got, awesome numbers. And I thank everyone for sharing and the comments and things on that. That was great. Also, continue support of the other shows on the network. And we're going to get into the headlines.
Headlines.
Now, if I use that from now on.
Nope, use it. The granddad rendition of headlines.
That would be awesome.
Oh, man, it's terrible.
All right. So, as we said, everyone's still kind of in limbo, basically, with the quarantine stuff that's going on in some places and not necessarily in others. Seems like it's affected some people more than it has others. Don't know if everyone, I don't know how you could not have heard of it now, but Kanye West bid for a presidential election kind of went down in flames. I don't even know if that was necessarily a bid at all. It just really seemed like he could not get in touch with a therapist and needed to talk to somebody.
Part of it is the fact that he does think outside the box. And so I think when most people say he's a genius, what they really mean is he thinks outside the box. He thinks unconventional. So, people say that, but, that doesn't necessarily mean a good thing all the time. Sometimes thinking outside the box can cause problems. But in general...
We were supposed to get an album yesterday. We didn't get no album. So we can't say it's album rollout. So that's off the table. So I'm just going to say this nigga's crazy. I'm just going to continue to say that. And it bothers me when people keep saying Kanye is a genius. He know what he's doing. He's a genius. I'm like, no, he's a musical genius. There's a difference. Just because I can write a song don't mean I need, I know politics or I know how to do surgery on somebody. A genius in one area does not make you a genius all throughout life. So let's stop.
And I think Kanye has kind of validated your point by most of his conduct over the years. But like you said, you could say it's crazy, but he's suffering he's suffering. I know about his disorder, but even just outside of that, so there's other things that has affected him. That
Kardashians, that's what's affecting him. Don't let me go there. Don't make me go there, D.
Go ahead, T.
My 6-year-old thinks outside the box too. They don't make it correct.
Oh, Lord. Well, okay. Just in case, someone has not heard about what happened to Kanye or what he did, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit more information into this. Basically, he did was it in South Carolina that he did this stop?
Yeah, it was in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. So he did a stop where it was supposed to be like a presidential type. I have no idea what exactly he was trying to do, but it was supposed to be out on him being, elected in 2020. And he just basically went on rants and raves about one almost aborting his daughter, him almost being aborted, Harriet Tubman not freeing slaves. It was a number of things, but I could not understand why, one, given that people do know that he does have this condition, why the media took it seriously and didn't actually check with, well, you know what? I know why they did it. They need to get views. They need to get clicks and stuff. And that definitely did it. So I take that back. I'm not even finna continue on with that line of thought. But after that, he continued on in his rants and his raves on Twitter, basically just mass tweeting out a few things, and that he's been trying to get a divorce from Kim. Kim tried to fuck Meek Mill at some prison reform talk. He called Chris Jong-un.
He called her Chris's boyfriend Kanye. What was it? Something like that. Kanye.
Yes, it's something weird. Yes.
Yeah.
And he also mocked Chris for taking pictures of Kim in Playboy.
And Kim selling her sex tape and all kind of other. It was a lot that came out. Kim then released a statement afterwards saying that, having someone in her life who has mental illness, it can be a tough situation, and she's never necessarily addressed it like this before, but she had to, considering what he pretty much said. I think today, not too long ago, Kanye actually put out a apology to Kim for everything that he said. And
of course he did.
I saw one thing that said that Dave Chappelle actually hopped on a flight to go see Kanye out in Wyoming, where he was doing all this tweeting from. What is the giggle?
The reason why I'm giggling is because in that story, he was like, hey nigga, tell a joke. First off, you don't just put a comedian on the spot like that and be like, nigga, tell a joke. Secondly, he's coming to see if you mentally okay. He ain't coming to do a set. What are you doing? Like, this nigga's crazy.
Oh, man.
But we had started talking about this, given that, everything is going on. It will be a lot. And we know that Kanye has been through a lot, especially after his mom passing and things like that. But I hold the thought process that Kim, knowing she had to know this going in, that he wasn't right. We, as McCoy was saying, he's been starting to fall off and kind of been a little just wild in since his mom passed, and nobody's been able to rein him in. Given that, I think it was on her to necessarily set boundaries and some sort of kind of support system for him to be able to do this if she wanted to actually be with him. And there's no way she knew anything about this bipolar disorder or even, the depths that his goes to or what could actually trigger him. I really think she should have, taken the time to learn all this beforehand, because she was just getting out of her marriage. Then she ended up pregnant not too long after they meet. And it's just like that. All of that was just a whirlwind type stuff. Now this is actually coming to her, or, maybe they've been dealing with it the entire time. I don't know. But I don't really think that there was the structure that he needed to be able to flourish as somebody with this type of illness. I feel bad for her, but I also feel like you fucked it up even more.
I was going to say one quick thing. I mean, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the genius comment. So the hard part about that is Kanye is the type of person that has gotten everything that he's accomplished up to this point because he thinks outside the box and because he does think away. So, I mean, even for Kim Kardashian or anybody who's married to him for that matter, to be able to have the responsibility of telling him, hey, stop doing it this way. You need to do it that way. It's hard to tell somebody who thinks like that, who thinks outside the box, to get in the box. They're not going to listen. They feel like you're obstructing creativity.
Yeah, I agree with that, T, especially after he's been so successful. Whether regardless of how you feel about it, you can't deny that because he thinks the way that he does, which I think also ties into his mental illness, it's made him successful in multiple industries, not just music. He's been successful at quite a lot of things. So I understand what you mean about, trying to put some boundaries in place or try to get the right people around him. But at the same time, imagine how difficult that would be for somebody who is a successful multimillionaire, for you to all of a sudden be trying to, like you said, put this person in a box when they've been so successful by being outside of a box.
True. But that goes back more to what I'm saying. Knowing that that's the situation you cannot handle, why continue to go there? It had to be signs from the beginning with this. And then you bring a child into it.
Maybe not.
There's no way.
I think that they've definitely been having marital issues based on his comments. That's number one. Number two, I agree 110% with what y'all saying about his level of creativity, and you can't necessarily contain that. However, there has to be somebody in your life, regardless of how much money you make, that can talk some sense into you at some point. And what we probably can safely say is that was his mom. But now she's not in his life anymore. And Snoop alluded to this when he was on a Breakfast Club and he was talking about Kanye. And at that time, it was his recent, it was the comments he made around slavery being a choice and all of that. And Snoop was like, he has nobody in his corner that's going to check him. That's going to be like, hey, nigga, you need to sit down over here. You wildin'. And to y'all point about his money, and I don't know what, I've heard 170 million a year. I don't know what the number actually is. But when you're making that much money a year, it's safe to say at this point, he got nothing but yes men and people in his corner that's riding his coattails. So it's like, to your point, it's difficult to get him going in the right direction, even though clearly he has some type of mental health issues. And I don't believe in absolutes. So there more than one thing can be true. He could be having a mental episode while also be trying to sell something, while also feeling like he can make a positive impact politically, but you're just spinning your wheels. You're going crazy. Yeah. And we're witnessing it.
Possible. Taz, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that you can't put somebody in a box or tell somebody what to do. One of their biggest hits was "You Can't Tell Me Nothing." Let's just start. Yeah. You can't tell nothing. You can tell a grown man, a grown man to do nothing. So we're saying, even with the mental health issues or the disorders or whatever, they should have put him in some kind to give him more support, or she should have seen it coming, or that type of thing. You can't, because if I don't even know it's here, how you gonna know it's here?
Yeah, the other thing is, even when it comes to that, even when you are there and you do something for him, or you're trying to be there for him, like with his medicine, he still won't take his medicine because he's actually self-aware of what it does to him. He says it takes away his creativity, so in his mind already, he believes that the medicine, that like the stuff that's supposed to help him, puts him in that same box that you guys were talking about, but this does it chemically or whatnot. And I think the main thing I have with Kanye, or that a lot of people are afraid to say, you can have people in your corner that will check you, but there's a big difference between that person and the person that you actually will listen to. Like, his mom could have been the only person ever that he would actually listen to. He may not listen to anybody else. And I don't think anybody has actually thought about that. Like, no matter what anybody else says to him, he may not ever listen to it. Like, that's a possibility. And I think that possibility kind of worries people more, that Kanye may be this tire that's just rolling down the road.
Yeah, and it's hard to.
I think Jay could get through to him, but right now their relationship is strained.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. I mean, you can say that, but I mean, really, that's just pure speculation. There's no way to really know. You can hope that Jay-Z could get to him, but
to Taz's point, he wrote a song called "My Big Brother" and detailed their relationship and how much admiration he had for him. So I hear you.
Right. And he has also sued Jay-Z and talked all kind of crazy shit about Jay-Z. So it's like there's no way to know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't.
Slavery was also a choice. Yeah.
But considering that he was talking the same, similar shit about being aborted and stuff, possibly, and this is still about the woman that he clearly cares about as well. It's the same thing. I'm sorry, but I still have onus on her at some point, seeing that you gotta have some type of structure. She riling out herself, doing everything that she needs to do for her entire family. She says that all the time. But clearly this man does not have that structure for him.
Yeah. Well, no one is saying that they don't have any fault in it. It's just that I think what we're saying is that they're less at fault. Like, if you replace them, this may still be happening with someone else.
Yeah.
But you can't replace any of the other factors, and it'll still be happening. Just if you replace the woman or whoever is in his life at that time, this likely still will happen, is what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that she doesn't have fault in it. It's just that any person in that situation is going to be at fault.
True. But I mean, at that point, in my eyes, I guess it's just you're enabling it to the point where it's the detriment of this man is about to kill himself.
Yeah.
And you're watching the downside.
Yeah, I feel like
I definitely blame the Kardashians.
Of course you do.
Yes, we know.
I do feel like it did make it a little worse with her because of, the spotlight that she has and that her family has, the reality show and all that stuff. So that just kind of added fuel to the fire. But the fire was still going to be there because of, like I said, Kanye is Kanye. And so even for somebody who's trying to talk sense into him, he doesn't see it that way, because where you see the line between genius and crazy is a different place than where he sees the line between genius and crazy. So when you say, hey, you crossing that line into crazy now, he's like, no, I haven't crossed into crazy yet. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a genius. How you gonna tell me? So,
yeah, you're not a genius like me.
I don't know.
That's when he get on that. I am Steve Jobs. I am Walt Disney, and you are just a regular person. So you can't understand this dragon energy.
No, I get it. I guess it's just me saying, okay, you've taken all this time to put a lot of effort into your business, your family, and even this prison reform stuff. Doesn't seem like that same effort was put into being able to understand and facilitate stuff with mental health. I mean, it just doesn't seem that way. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I think when it comes to bipolar, like the hardest thing about it is that they don't really have a middle ground, right? Like that's what they consider what a normal person when it comes to feeling with emotions and the feelings. It's either super high or it's super low or it's super emotional or it's
manic
super aggressive. Like it's never in between. They don't have that middle ground. So when you're helping these people, you have no idea. You're hoping that when you're talking to this person, they're like being sympathetic with you, that it's not like their bipolar bottom. Like it's that emotional part. You're hoping that it's like that middle ground. That way they'll not only listen to it, but it'll resonate with them. But you just don't know who you're dealing with when you're talking to them. That's the main thing. Not like a different personality, just a different emotional state.
Correct.
At the time you're talking to them.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that this does actually work out somehow for them and for him, and he does get the help that he needs. Because like you said, he's a very talented man, and just in general as a human being, you don't want anybody going through that type of stuff, because clearly he needed somebody that day. And that town hall is what he was like, this is going to work for me. So, oh, wow.
Also, he's definitely not going to win the election. I'm just telling you. So anybody that's thinking about voting for him, you wasting your vote if you do that. Because right now you can only vote for him in Oklahoma anyway. So
also, did y'all see his? Now, I've watched my fair share of presidential debates and town hall. That didn't look like no town hall.
I was done when he didn't have a microphone.
Yeah, it looked when I saw the outfit and it looked like you about to put on a show at your local club. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be something special. All right, well, okay.
Brian, he can't even vote for himself. Why would we take him serious?
Yeah, that was disheartening as well. He's not even registered to vote, but he been MAGA this, MAGA that.
Well, him and 45 got that dragon energy. Like,
speaking of 45, somebody, please. So I don't know if you guys have heard the latest sick shit he said about his daughter, right? About her being a nice piece of ass. Like, this was just like recently.
No, but I saw like a montage of like all of the creepy stuff that he said about his daughter throughout his life. And I'm just like, this man is, it's already confirmed he's a sick individual, but this is really some next level sick stuff.
Oh my God.
So what is the context? Because I haven't heard anything about this.
They were speaking on, her being a part of his campaign and everything coming up for the election type stuff. And, of course, him wanting to dote on his kids, and Ivanka is in his eyes the golden child, and he was just somehow or another we got on her being a nice piece of ass. It's just like that intelligence test he did. Woman, person, man, TV, camera. What woman, person, man, TV.
So what was this intelligence test? I've heard a little bit about this, but I don't know.
Nobody.
Cognitive. It's the cognitive test. He was trying to prove that his cognitive skills are not in decline. Because there's been that question about Biden, and he's trying to, I'm the best tester ever of all testers situation.
Yeah, he put it up as, this was an IQ test. And that's not what it was, of course. And he was just touting it on this interview with this man. And you could see the look on this man's face as he's just repeating this over and over, like, what?
Wow.
So look here, guys. Y'all know I'm this kind of person. I looked up the test. And I'm just going to go ahead and say...
Oh, don't stop now.
Like maybe a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old
would miss it.
Would get everything correct on this test. Like, it is not... That test is not anything that indicates intelligence at all. It's just like,
are you normal?
Does your brain function? No, I don't even think it would tell you whether or not you're normal. I think it would just literally tell you that your brain understands
words,
things that are happening around you. Like,
minimum
it's not
requirements met.
Yeah, like it's not even a "can you feed yourself" type of thing. It's just like "are you aware that you exist on the planet?" Like, it's not a.
Well, I mean, it was a major accomplishment to him because apparently his doctors, which says something about him, I guess that he wasn't realizing. His doctors were just in awe that he was able to get past it.
This puts something into context because I had heard something because, his niece came out with this book, Mary Trump. She wrote this book, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, or published it a couple of weeks ago. And one thing that I heard that was in that book was that he paid people to take his SATs for him and take his college admissions exams and all that stuff. This makes complete sense. He's never taken an SAT or a college admissions exam. So for him, this cognitive test y'all talking about probably is like the most difficult test he's taken in his life.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know what? I would say this, that the only question I think that 4-year-old cannot answer is count backwards from 100 by 7. That's about it. But if you get that wrong, you still pass the test.
But is he trying to appeal to the masses with the latest stuff that he's doing and canceling, the Republican National Convention and some of his town halls and things like that, citing coronavirus? He's now wearing a mask, saying it's the most patriotic thing to wear a mask, whereas before he was just adamant about not doing it.
This kind of pisses me off because I know why he's doing it. I mean, obviously he's doing it because somebody has gotten in his ear and told him, hey, you're not going to win re-election if you keep going down this road. That's the only reason he's doing it. But it kind of pisses me off because I know what's going to happen next. Everybody going to start wearing the mask because he told them to. All his supporters will start doing it. The coronavirus numbers are going to eventually stabilize and start to go down. He's going to take credit for it all and say, oh, look what I did. I made everybody wear a mask. I solved coronavirus. Even though it was 6 months too fucking late, but he's going to take all the credit for it.
Of course.
For doing what everybody else said was the obvious solution from day one.
The University of Facebook has told several people that that using masks. Well, first off, coronavirus is still a hoax. So that's still a topic for debate, which is saddening. So that's the first thing. And then also, according to the University of Facebook, masks don't do anything. Like we're not patriots because we wear masks, and we're infringing on people's liberties. And we shouldn't be doing that by putting these masks on. And when you just see the way people act, I can't. While I understand the appointee that, okay, his base is going to start, oh, we need to wear this mask. Oh, yeah, mask is a perfect thing. And then they'll all start wearing masks. I just believe at this point, according to the education that people are receiving at University of Facebook, that they just believe that they know more than what the health officials are saying. And it's just so much misinformation. And because I believe that most people don't know how to really do research, instead of looking for things instead of looking for the opposite of what you think, they go look for things that reaffirm how they feel. And you can find it. And because you can find it, then you just say, yeah, I'm right. And I don't have to wear a mask. And that's the danger. Another danger of social media. You can create social media and smartphones. You can create a world. You can follow things on social media that reaffirm how you feel, what you feel. You can then follow specific news outlets that say and reaffirm how you feel and what you feel. And because there's no opposing view to your line of thinking, then you're just stuck in your own ignorant world. And that's where a lot of people are right now.
Well, what's funny is a lot of the times you'll hear people say, well, if somebody is saying something you don't necessarily like, or somebody is hating on you or whatever, surround yourself with people, more like-minded people like you. So I think they're taking that shit to the wrong degree, but I can see where they're trying to feel like, oh, well, I'm smart. But it really kind of just feels like there's just this push of trying to feel like they're still, I guess, a part of the conversation and not stupid. And it's just backfiring so ridiculously. Like the things now that I'm seeing, which is fucking ridiculous. They're wearing masks, but the masks are made of like mesh material. Or the masks are made of yarn. Yeah, and they're like, well, it's a mask. It doesn't say what kind of mask I'm supposed to wear.
Patriots. They're patriots. That's why.
The obvious patriotic thing would be to take some sort of measure that would potentially help minimize the spread of this virus that's currently killing Americans. It's killing Americans. So if you want to preserve American life and look out for your fellow neighbor, your fellow American brother and sister, wear the fucking mask. That's patriotic. People don't even understand what patriotic means. People think patriotic means I'm going to do what I want to do to preserve my well-being. That doesn't make you a patriot.
Yeah, patriotism has kind of gotten a warped sense of view to a lot of people lately. It's more about what can I do that'll help save my family or me from some sort of issue. But hey, it is what it is.
It's not what you do for you. It's what you do for your country, right?
Exactly.
No, it's not. Commie piece of shit Kennedy said that. Communist plant.
Oh my!
I'm just saying that's the response that you can expect from that.
But, I wish we had one of those anti-mask folks on the show for today, because I'm really curious. Like, and I've asked this question to I got a couple of them on my Facebook feed. I've asked this question and they will not answer. But I would like to hear from someone who's willing to answer. What is the problem with wearing the mask? Even if you think it doesn't work, the chance that it could work makes it worthwhile. So why are you so adamantly against it? You think the government's going to take your rights? The government takes your rights in so many other ways that you don't even complain about. But you think there's a massive plot to convince you to wear a mask because somehow the government benefits from that.
It's quite simple. You ready? This is it.
How does the government benefit from you wearing a mask? What is the conspiracy?
This you asked, what's the problem? Why don't you just wear the mask? Even if there's minimal uncomfort at best is what the outcome would be from you wearing the mask. It's because you're infringing on my liberties and the Constitution, which if you were to ask them, well, hey, recite the Constitution, they wouldn't be able to. That's number one. Secondly, Americans just don't like to be told what to do. Like, period. Like, they don't like to be told what to do. And that's on the left and right side when you talk about political agendas. So it's just funny. Like you said, you try to get a response. There isn't one because it's just a simple, you're infringing on my liberties.
Well, by that same logic, they tell you to do a million different things. This isn't the only law. Like, there's literally millions of laws out there that you follow every day.
That word you said that started with L, logic, throw that out the window. That's how these people operate. They're not operating.
They tell you to wear a seatbelt. You do that.
Yep.
No questions asked.
Speed limits. Everywhere you go, there's speed limits.
They tell you exactly. They tell you don't drink and drive. You don't drink and drive. Like, there's so many laws that you live by, and the reason that those laws are there is really to protect lives. This is the same concept, but for some reason, this is viewed differently. I don't get it.
Hell, they tell you to wear clothes. You wear them. I don't understand it. I mean,
and that doesn't even save lives. Like, you follow that rule for nothing.
Oh man! It's funny because it's true.
Like, there is literally nothing out there stopping you from just walking out naked one day. But
they're like, I'm gonna drop dead because you just walked by naked. Like, oh shit, he's naked.
Well, if Holly Berry walked by me naked, I might drop dead. Might come back to life. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with this, we have, of course, people.
What do you say at his funeral for that?
That's
what I would be thinking of the whole time if I'm making this. I'm like, this nigga died. Well, look at him.
McCoy was a good man.
but Halle Berry took him down.
Halle Berry took her clothing off and he just couldn't take it. I don't know.
But she was wearing a mask. But with this, of course, since I think this, fracture in how to convey the message of the pandemic and the fact that I don't understand why they didn't feel like, okay, yes, these are people, they're doctors. They don't have all the facts. This is a brand new situation. Please give them leeway to figure stuff out. But in the beginning, just the message just wasn't clear enough and it was lost. in that now you have these people who just don't want to follow the rules. That's raising the cases. And at this point in time, I think last week, Texas had the most cases. Now, Florida, of course, as usual, has the most cases. The U.S. now, of course, has 4 million. 4 fucking million.
Well, that's only because we test the most. Because when you test, you create cases by testing. So if you stop testing, you won't have you won't have that many cases.
Yeah, then the hospitals will empty out and people will magically start surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the amount of tests that we have in the United States could have never happened anywhere else in the world.
No.
Because no other country can do the things that we do. And it's because of our amazing leadership.
Yeah.
And it would have never happened in any countries that have a far less infections rate and death toll.
And you're still not getting to the root of it, because the truth is Obama and Biden didn't even care about this.
Yeah.
They did nothing.
They left no test kits.
For coronavirus. There was nothing for coronavirus. And I don't know how we even elected them to handle coronavirus, because obviously they just didn't do anything.
Mm-mm.
And the only thing they did was left a clear playbook on how to handle these types of situations.
Yeah.
But clearly that was ignored.
We'll get to it one day. But with all that, having this number of cases, we have been able to get a little bit of semblance of, normal life back, which is some sports have returned. I know you guys are happy about that.
Yeah, it's a little weird though, without like fans and whatnot. Takes some getting used to. The arena's like so quiet and you can hear like everybody talk. It's weird.
Yeah.
I think the NBA has returned. We are not going to see a Super Bowl champion this year. I just don't. I don't see how it's possible.
I like how you skipped over baseball. Like baseball isn't even going on right now.
Baseball is literally happening.
I don't think other sports are back yet.
I mean, is baseball? I mean, is it really? Is it though? Is it really important? I mean, we're stars, so I guess.
I mean, baseball to me doesn't really count until October anyway.
Well, damn.
That's too many games. It's too many regular season games.
Yeah. I'm not going to watch 180 games. Like, just tell me who made the playoffs.
I just want to point something out. They've cut the baseball schedule down to the abs. It's like 80 something.
It's 60 games. I'm still not interested.
And we're still like, the season's too long. I can't take it.
Man. Yeah. Well, I saw on some feeds that the Astros have been winning. So
yeah, they're 2-0 right now.
I mean,
but we also have boxing. We do have boxing coming back.
That's interesting.
But like that 7-second knockout last.
Obviously, that chick didn't know that she was in a boxing match.
Okay. I guess I missed this. What is this?
There was a match. I want to say it was either last night or Thursday night. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like a terrible matching, like a terrible pairing for this boxing match. It ended in 7 seconds with a girl throwing 7 punches, all landed, and knocking this poor girl out who looked like she didn't even deserve to be in the ring. Like the way she came out of her corner, like when you see boxers, once the bell rings, they start moving. She was reluctant to even like take a step. And when she did step, you immediately knew, oh no, just the way she was moving. It's like, oh no, this is not going to be pretty. And the girl knocked out cold with 7 seconds left. I mean, in 7 seconds.
Oh man.
It was literally like when Debo said, who want to step up and get knocked out? She literally stepped up to get knocked out. It was terrible.
So do y'all think it was more like a setup match?
Well, I looked at all of the details, and what ended up happening was the girl that scored the knockout, she was supposed to be fighting someone else. But the girl that she was supposed to fight, either her or someone in her camp had got COVID. So they had to back out for those reasons. So they put this girl in at the last second. I guess they just offered her some money and had her go into the ring. And
was it a great white hype situation?
No, it wasn't that at all, because nobody knew anything about this person. She was
6-1, wasn't she?
She was, but they explained that beforehand. She was actually 5-0. That one loss that it said she had wasn't even in the pros. She was 5-0 going into that match, but none of the 5 people she beat had wins either.
Okay, I was
my.
about to say that. You can tell me she's 5-0, but based on what I've seen, I'm questioning that 5.
Yeah,
Man.
and then none of the others, they didn't have wins either. So this was her first time fighting somebody who actually even won a professional boxing match.
Oh man.
And it just happened to be one of she's not the top tier, but she's like in the mid tier of like her division in women's boxing. They put her up against her, and it looked.
She should have never been in that match. Yeah, she should have never been in that match. Everything I just heard reaffirms she should have never been there at all.
Yeah, it was a quick payday that she probably
Will not
she
be able
take.
to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately got spent on medical bills.
Right.
That's one of them losses. Your career doesn't recover. Like you just sacrifice your career for a quick payday, but your career is over.
She was laid out for 6 minutes before she finally got up.
What?
Yeah, she was knocked
Went
out
ahead
cold.
and took a nap. Damn.
Knocked out longer than the fight.
It was bad, but she did get up in the ring, and she walked, but she couldn't walk without assistance.
You mean part of her body?
Yeah,
because the other half of her body was outside of the rope, sir. So only part of her body was in the ring, but that part got up.
She took more damage in 7 seconds than most people take in like an entire 12-round fight. It was that bad.
Damn. Oh, okay.
And the punches sounded bad too. I don't know what kind of mic they had, but the punches sounded.
Well, maybe that's just the way it sounds like when there's nobody in the ring.
Probably. I was like, Jesus.
Hey, when they put on those productions, they do it all out so you can be able to hear it over the crowd. But
there's backlash against them for making that match. There's a lot of people who aren't happy because they said it was dangerous for that girl.
Yeah, it was clearly dangerous.
Well,
but they're facing a lot of backlash for that.
But I mean, if she's of sound mind,
her team needs some backlash. They wrong for even allowing her to take that fight. She got to trash team.
Well, the team will take it for the money. It's the organization should know that you shouldn't match anything like that up.
Were they even in the same like weight class or?
Oh yeah, they were.
Okay.
I don't think it wouldn't have mattered. She could have. The other girl who got knocked out could have been in 3 weight classes up. It would have been the same.
The other girl, actually, the young lady that won, she looked thinner than the chick she knocked out.
Looks smaller.
Damn. I
You got to see the clip. Once you see the clip, you just be like, you'll start feeling sorry for the girl too.
I don't want to see it.
Have you ever seen Floyd Mayweather doing his little drills with his uncle? That's what it looked like, except all of the punches hit somebody in the face.
Yeah,
fast.
She threw 7 punches, all 7 landed. It was bad.
Oh my! I didn't realize it was that bad.
It was bad. Tommy Hearns and Martin bad.
No, fuck.
Well, we also have forward to the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones.
The Legends Only League. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yes, Mike Tyson. Pretty much, what Ice Cube was doing with the Big Three for basketball, where he was bringing back like the retired good players or retired players from the NBA. Some of them I wouldn't consider good. In Mike Tyson's league, it's called Legends Only League for a reason. It's only like the great retired or like the good and great retired athletes in their sports, like just doing just regular pickup things in their sports, like a basketball game between Grant Hill and somebody. I don't know.
Anthony Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway, something like that. Or a boxing match between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. Pickup football game with Jerry Rice and Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. You just taking the old legends in their league and just putting them in like just games at their age now. To watch them compete against each other.
Oh my!
I just think it's a good idea. Like I'm not mad at it. I don't know that now, if we're talking about specifically Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson, I don't know that I want Roy Jones Jr. to do this. Just because the way his career ended.
Yeah.
He
wasn't the best.
Yeah, he earned nickname Candlelight. Like you blow on him one time, he was gonna get knocked out.
It was bad, yeah.
So it's just
it got bad out there.
I'm surprised Mike's not fighting Evander, because Evander's been training also.
Well, that may be later on.
That may be next. This might be the warm up.
Yeah.
So this is a tune up. So Mike getting a Legends tune up fight then.
Maybe so, man.
It's what he's calling the league. It's a Legends Only League, man.
Would Evander take that fight though? I don't know.
sure
Like
he would.
Evander might bro.
They've
I only got one ear left, brother. I don't know if
he gave it back to him, remember?
Yeah, on the Mike Tyson's podcast.
That's disgusting. It's disgusting. All right. I just saw this. And did you guys know that there's a new nightclub here in Houston in the Midtown area?
Good timing, but no, go ahead.
Is it a nightclub or is it a restaurant that operates at night?
It is a nightclub. It's closed, of course, now. But they put in $1 million retractable roof.
I just have a question before we get into this $1 million retractable. Who thought it was a good time to roll that business model out right now? Like you didn't want to table that idea. You didn't want to table it. Like you just was money tied up. You just had to open.
Yeah, I guess so.
Back down.
I guess so.
So okay, I can't get mad at them for having the retractable roof or paying the $1 million if they believe their business is gonna pay out this $1 million investment they just made. But I'm going to assume it did not, or it will not.
Well, of course they're closed. They're looking to open back up late summer, early fall.
What's the reason for the closure?
Because Texas has closed bars.
Wait, late summer, early fall. Like that's
now. Right now.
So again, our question is: this is more questions about this business model.
Hey.
What were they thinking?
They're saying, hey, I guess they're looking towards the future that this will be something that they can do. Because I mean, in most places, they're saying that because of the circulated air, you should avoid. With the retractable roof, you don't really have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But it's called Rise Rooftop, formerly Proof, 10,000 square foot venue. It features a retractable roof installed at the cost of $1 million, 150 feet long and 45 feet wide. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Because, everybody going to go thinking, oh, it's safe. Because, it's got a retractable roof. I'm outside. But y'all still like shoulder to shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, pretty much.
Y'all pack like sardines in an open can.
That was a good
Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
It's still bad either way.
It's definitely a good one. All right. In that, it actually brings us to our headlines from our favorite state, with Florida. I'm going to just say this. Melbourne woman accused of driving drunk with her baby in the backseat is facing additional charges after she peed on her officer during her arrest.
Okay, I got questions.
That's good.
I got questions.
Go ahead.
I got questions. So did the officer just? What was? No woman. A woman is not gonna pee on me unless I let it happen, which I don't, because that's nasty. But I'm just saying, like, how did you get? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a guy. You can aim. You know what I'm saying? A woman, like, you have to let them pee on you. Like, I don't understand how that's possible.
Right, I'm getting the Harlem Nights vibe from the story, and maybe he put his leg out there and said, "Go ahead and pee on it. Pee on it, I dare you."
Probably.
I never dare you to pee on me.
There it is. It's right here.
Bitch, I wish you would. Yeah.
And she looked at that baby in the back seat, and that baby was like, "He challenging you," and she did it. Or the baby probably said, "I pee on you all the time. Go ahead and pee on me." I don't know.
But yeah, they just, all it says is that as she was being handcuffed, the officer observed a stream of liquid and began to feel it, on his pants. So yeah.
Wow.
I mean, but so what was this, an assault charge?
Well, it was a DUI stop.
Yeah, but what was the peeing part? Like, did they raise the charges or add a charge?
Yeah, they're adding other charges to it. Yeah, battery on a law enforcement officer.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah,
I thought battery. I was like, they gonna get this girl battery and pee on this man.
Mm.
But how? I'm failing to understand how this battery, because she peed on herself technically. But if you were pressed up against her, then you may have.
I would just like to take the time to point out this woman's getting charged for battery, peeing on a cop, and the cop should have known not to get peed on. And the officers that killed Breonna Taylor are still free. I want to point that out.
Very true.
They didn't pee on her.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You had to pee.
Got to pee on her.
Apparently, that's the case.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Got to put some effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't sound well. Okay, I don't think she made any effort to pee on the man at all. I think she just
peeing. Yeah,
she's just peeing.
Well,
it ain't like she aimed at him. I mean, she just released. she couldn't control.
According to the affidavit, she said, "I'm gonna piss on you, and I hope it get." So
she could have been singing the R. Kelly song.
She said, "I'm gonna piss on you."
He was warned before the shots was fired. He was
Harlem Nights.
I thought that. Yeah, I think D hit it on the head there. I really think it was a situation where it's just like, you know what? Yeah, fuck you gonna pee on me? All right, bitch, do it. I really think that is what happened. I hate to say it.
If I was her, my defense would be I warned him. And he didn't stop. Just like, if he warned me, I'm supposed to stop doing something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but what was she supposed to do? Like, if she had to go and she was like, "Hey, I gotta go pee," and he's like, "No, you're not peeing because I'm not giving you permission." And then she's like, "Well, I'm gonna pee right here."
And then she's like, "Well, I'm gonna pee on you then."
And then, so what's she supposed to do? Like, she can't aim. Like, she can't point away from him. So,
even if she could,
I mean, would you
I
expect her to
assume
do?
her clothes were on. Even if she
come out.
I don't know.
Lord only knows. One thing I did also find that was it really, really just says, the times that we're living in Corona, that you just really want to go to Epcot that bad. So, they reopened Disney World, and a 27-year-old woman was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon. And I think it said 20. I forgot how much exactly it was, but she was also arrested with a bag of weed as well in a diaper bag with her children at Epcot Center. Now, how this was found is they now have installed these artificial intelligence scanners throughout the park. Of course, people will be stupid. It's coronavirus. So, of course, as she's walking through these, they're seeing that she's got guns in this bag. Her defense is that it was the child's.
Okay.
I have additional questions. Hey, I heard what you said, but I'm going to ask anyway because this is Florida we're talking about. How old was the child?
They didn't say. They did not say.
I'm pretty sure your assumption is going to be right, Brian, whatever age you say.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter at this point. Like, really?
12.
Ma'am. Right. Even if it is the kids, you holding the bag, you going down. Please stop.
And then that's messed up. Even if it was your kids, like you just threw your own kid in
Well, depending on the age, maybe they get charged as a minor. It was an accident.
And maybe it's battery to an officer or something. I don't know.
What I'm hearing you say is the child accidentally put their gun in their mom's purse.
Yep.
Well, it is Florida, so.
I told that boy about playing with my gun, and he didn't brought it to the happiest place on earth. But I don't know. It's Florida. I don't know.
Yeah, Florida.
Wow.
That's all I can say.
Poor Florida.
Why does this stuff happen in Florida? Like, what?
There's something in the water.
What is it about Florida that they just...
Okay.
How?
Well, I mean, that story that we talked about way back when nobody was talking about, where the water supply.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The water supply was being contaminated and nobody was saying anything.
It was like 100 million gallons of some substance or some shit that got into the water. And they were like, oh, well. And it was like, it's the drinking water supply. And I'm like, why is this not a bigger deal? Something is happening.
Nobody was talking about it. Like, we had to actually go and look it up to see what exactly happened. If I'm not mistaken, they like cemented in those ponds and used another drinking source, which was still actually contaminated by that rupture. Cause it was a rupture of like some contamination of like terrible shit. I forgot exactly what it was. I need to look it up actually.
Yeah, I forgot what it was too, but I know it was in the millions of gallons. And I just thought that's what caught my eye. I was like, that is a lot.
The crazies. In the beginning of the crazies, that plane landed in the drinking town drinking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. We never found like an updated report on that.
No, I forgot specifically what happened. It was like millions of gallons or billions of gallons of whatever water contamination. Actually, let me look that up. I'm going to take the time to look that up. That shit right there.
And that was in Florida?
Yeah.
When was this?
So like 2017?
Nah, Florida been crazy longer than that.
So it was a massive sinkhole that collapsed in Florida that dropped 215 million gallons of radioactive and contaminated water into Florida's aquifer.
Only in Florida. Would that happen?
Say radioactive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That dude that blew himself up at the bar from Daylight Savings. Was that in Florida? I can't remember.
No, that was actually
that was
international. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, that was international.
Was his family from Florida? Man.
Well, my assumption is I think there's a Florida in every country.
Wow.
Every country has a...
Somebody Google that.
Every country has like a Florida of the family.
We need to look into that.
I know you guys saw, I don't know if, I don't believe I shared this on the Instagram stories, but it was a picture of a bar somewhere in, I believe it was Prague. And it said, all Americans must be accompanied by an adult. And they said, this is how they're seeing America now. And then somebody commented at the bottom, was like, yeah, this is how we see Florida.
Oh, yeah.
That's so fucked up. But
it's true.
But it's so true. You know, we got family in Florida and everything. And even then, we still be like, man, y'all stay in a fucked up state.
Yeah. I don't know if we said anything about Regis, did we?
What about Regis?
Regis died today.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Regis Philbin, 89 years old.
R.I.P. Regis. Oh, also, we want to give our condolences to Representative John Lewis. He passed as well this week. He was very active in the civil rights movement and also for just civil rights in general and been that way for a very long time. So R.I.P. to their families and to them as well. Damn, we losing a lot of people, man.
I'm trying to get out of 2020, man. I'm tired of this.
The Jets also lost Jamal Adams today, by the way, sports news.
Oh, and also Naya Rivera. Condolences out to her family. That was terrible.
Yeah, it makes it even worse when I heard like some of the details of what they think happened.
Yeah.
Well, with Naya Rivera?
Yeah, trying to save a little boy.
Yeah, they said they think she died because her son, they said the last thing he remembered was her putting him on the boat. And when he looked back, she wasn't there anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't know if her son was struggling at some point. She went to get him and put him back in the boat, and she may have gotten taken after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was out there for how many hours? Or a night?
Yeah, he was out there the rest of the night.
Yeah, by himself.
I forgot how many hours it was total, but they found him early the next day.
Oh, 2020. Some of the memes that are coming out from that, though, is just like, oh, who had Sandstorm on the charts? And also, it was a chicken that was like, Sean, you would have hated this one, but it was a chicken that was over like 100 feet tall with laser eyes shooting at us. Something y'all thought July was bad. And August is like, hold my beer.
Yeah, it gets, and sadly, the way it's been going, it can still get worse. It can always be worse.
I mean, we've only made it halfway through.
I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Are we still recording the show right now?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about something I just thought about. We didn't talk about was Meg the Stallion. Ooh, she's gonna have another name. You know, she got alter egos. Bulletproof Meg. I'm calling it right now. She's gonna be called
Bulletproof Meg.
She's gonna be called Bulletproof Meg.
You so stupid.
I think it's so hard to talk about that because nobody really knows the details.
Happened?
Like
yeah.
it's stuff that sounds like it makes sense and there's stuff that sounds outrageous. But the whole situation in general just seems far-fetched to me.
Those are your headlines.
As always, please continue to follow us on social media. SayWHA Radio for all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz. Again, thank you for tuning in. As always, the biggest compliment you guys can give us is to really, really, really share, like, subscribe, review the show on iTunes, Google Play, thumbs up on Facebook, everything. Tell your family, friends about the show. We may not be everybody's cup of tea, but hey, let them listen and we can come to an agreement. You know, you like this, don't like this, but that was funny. Yes, it was. Thank you for tuning in. Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I'm dying in this fucking fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother. The fuck is that? Say what again?